Hey, YouTube, everybody out there, it's brew day, and what we got going today, as you see, there's a lot of grains there. We got our grains, got the Golden Light, 3 pounds. We're going with Challenger and East Kent Goldings, and even though it's a new label, it's the old trusted Nottingham yeast. There you go. So we're going with Nottingham and brewing from the Bible today. There's the page. And going with the Northern Brown. Of course, I took liberties. Like I said, my homebrew shop doesn't have Admiral. So that's where we went with the East Kent Goldings as the bittering hop. And the Challenger as the flavor addition. And of course, they asked for, you know, a liquid yeast. I always go with Nottingham. Water. I'm going to be turning on the kettle in a second, getting that up. What else? I don't think there's anything else about this Northern Brown that I'm doing differently. Grains. Let me see. Got my list right here. All right, so of course this is for all grain, but I did 5 pounds Marisada. I did crystal. They don't tell you what type of crystal. So I went with 9 ounces of Crystal 40. Chocolate malt, I went with 4 ounces instead of 3.5. I mean, what's a half ounce extra? You know, whatever. So, and like I said, the hop addition. So those are the things that I changed. So let's get the brewing. I want to bring up the turn on the kettle now and start going in. All right, we're there. We're at about pushing up to 160. So I'm going to start going in. Now I'm doing this one-handed, so I'm just going to... You guys see me brew beer a million times, so... Here's the first batch. Mix this in. Alright guys, and I'm, it's my usual thing. And then I'm going to put it in there for an hour, let her mash inside the stove. Alright, as you can see, we're at the end of the mash, and now I'm just doing my usual fly sparge or ladle sparge, whatever you want to call it. Get the rest, but I'm using about a gallon of boiled water, or pre-boiled water, about 170 degrees. And I'll just go through this till I get through all this, so I can pour it out, and I just keep doing this little by little, get as much as residual sugars as I can. And that's it. Let it drain, kill on the heat, and it stayed pretty good temperature, about 155 all the way through, which is great. A lot of times I've been hitting at 160, and it stays at 160, so it's kind of like a high mash temp, where you really don't want that. But I think between the last 2 beers, right now we had perfect mash temperature. So I'm gonna let that drain. I got a little bit more water to sparge, and I'll bring you back after I get this up to boil for the first hop addition. Real quick, while I'm waiting for that to come up to boil and let that drain, I want to bring up the fact of about the yeast. When I've been doing my beers with this English ale yeast, the Nottingham yeast, I've noticed, not the last beer because I did USO4 for the pumpkin, but the last couple beers before that, the English bitter that I did and things like that, I was using Nottingham, and every beer had a distinctive flavor profile. Okay, there was always something in the beer that tasted the same from batch to batch, and I know it's from the yeast. So I just wanted to, and it hit it home on that. It made me think about that last night. What made me think about it today is I was watching CraigTube last night on his music cast that he does on Vaughn Live on the computer, and he was talking about how he has his forever yeast. I mean, he's been using the same yeast strain for 2 years. He just makes his batch of beer, pours it in the mason jars, and then a week after that, beers. But see, he brews like consistently, so he can use that. Like I'm always afraid of You know, I've done that harvest yeast where I'll pour the beer a week later, like if I'm doing it like back to back, like when I bottle the beer, leave it in the fermenter, and then just put the beer right on top of it. I've done that, but now harvesting yeast, I've done that too, but I'm always afraid because it's been a month or over a month since the last time I brewed, right? So if I were to save this yeast from this batch, there's no way it's going to keep in the fridge. No matter how much I sanitize, I don't think it would keep in the fridge. You know, well, let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. Have you ever harvested yeast, and how long will it stay fresh in a mason jar? Because, I mean, it's $5.99 here in the States, you know, in Jersey anyway. It's $5.99 for this yeast. I'd rather just not take a risk and dump some infected yeast that goes rancid in the fridge on top of, you know, all the hard work that you do, you know? But let me know. Just food for thought. There she blows. We have a hot break going on here. I think I got plenty of room, so I won't overflow. Wait for some of this foam to die down a little bit here. Then I'm going to add my hops. It'll be an ounce of East Kent Goldings. Here we go. Boom, they're in. Timer on for an hour. Timer on. Alright, last hop addition, ounce of Challenger in. Flame out. We got the flame out. So I'm just going to get that, whoop, covering the camera. We'll get that in. Kind of steamy. Alright, so now what we got to do is, while the wort is still hot, I got to get my 3 pounds of Golden Light DME in. So let me get both hands on this and get this in there and mix it all in real good. Alright, the brew day is done. Yeah, wow, that was quite the ordeal. We had a little bit of accident with the wort chiller. I went outside to go put the hose on, and, well, it popped out of the sink. And, well, let's just say I had to get a lot of towels by the time I got back in. That fast. Anyway, the floor is 100% waterproof, so I'm not worried about it. But it was quite the experience for that last heartbeat, you know? Alright, so that's the color. Murky, a lot of hop debris looks like got through, but whatever. Or that could be just the chemical shock of, like, you know, the hot to cold, that type of thing. So we're looking at 10... Oh, there's my camera. It's hard to see. We're ready to pitch the yeast. I already put the yeast nutrient in. 1060... Ooh, she's going to be a big beer. 1062 to 4, something like that. Two. It's hard to tell with these bubbles. Try to knock it down one more time. I'm gonna call it at 1062 or 1064. I'm thinking. Come on. Turn it around. Let's go. There it is. 10. Ooh, 1070 now? No. 2, 4, 6. 1065 probably. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6. 1066. I'll call it a 1066. Alright guys, thanks for coming along with us. I want to go pitch the yeast as soon as I kill the camera, and we'll get this in the closet, and I'll bring you back in 2 weeks for the bottling and the final gravity. Alright guys, cheers.